Welcome to this week's edition of Inside Tulsa Athletics. We've got a great show this week. We got a lot of information that you'll get. Stay with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we have a really special guest, the head football coach at McLain, also the head track coach, Willie Ponder. Willie, welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Cloud. Appreciate it.
Hey, this is a big week
Yes, sir.
at McLain. We're going to host a track meet out there for the first time in a long time.
It's we got 5 schools I think coming. Got Ponca City's coming. Then we'll have obviously our Tulsa Public Schools, Hale, East Central, Edison, and Rogers will be there. Good meet, good day. 8-lane track. I think the facilities there at McLain or some of the places I went, we measure up just right there with everyone else. So it's a good place. It's going to be a good day.
You know, that is one of the things that has always impressed me, being back the 7 years that I've been back here. The commitment that TPS and the voters to be able to vote the bonds, to be able to provide the facilities for our student athletes and our coaches that we have. There's not many urban districts that have an artificial turf at every single high school,
Right.
and an all-weather track at every single high school.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're able to provide that, and I think it's great for our kids and great for our coaches. So you have 5 teams coming in. Who are some of your good performers?
We have Robert Coleman. I think our 4x2 team is pretty solid. That consists of Robert Coleman, Elijah Alexander, Keon Neal, and Dwight Hollingsworth. We had went to Collinsville this past week. Has pretty good times there. Our girls are solid. We have a good girl, Janiyah Coleman. She's her times has kind of been up there, ranked a little bit, and she's doing very well. So we got some kids that can go.
Excellent, excellent. So that should be good. Now, when is your regional track meet?
I think that is the May 4th weekend or something like that. It's a couple of weeks out. We're a few weeks away from regional.
Well, this is good to have this kind of a mini peak before you get into that. And so you'll have boys and girls. So
Yes,
actually
sir.
you'll have 10 teams.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be a good full day of track.
Yes,
What
sir.
time are you going to start?
Start at 2:30. Coaches meeting, I want to say, is at 2. Field events 2:30, and then I think we'll get into the actual runs around 2:45 or 3 o'clock. Yes, sir.
So we want to encourage everyone to be out there for that.
Yep, it'll be a good one.
Well, you finished your first year as a head football coach.
Yes, I did.
Getting ready to go to spring practice as soon as track is over.
Yep.
Let's talk about McLain Titan football.
Let's talk about it. I'm excited. Still very honored to be the head coach there. A lot of people ask me, you really gonna take that job? But I'm all in and I'm committed. I think through this first year, this is my first year, full year with those kids, with the young men, that younger group. I'm very excited about my freshman class. Some people that knows about football say, why are you so excited about your freshman class? Well, I got 3 kids that's around about 290. So they're big boys. And I think that's the key when it comes to football, being able to battle in the trenches. So those young guys got a lot of playing time this past year, and I'm excited for it, man. This summer we're hitting it hard a little bit now. The ones that's not in wrestling or track, some of them are still lifting, and they're buying into the process that I have and what I'm putting forth for them, and I'm excited about it going in the spring.
Well, I think off season is always a critical time. I used to say when I was coaching, you win games in off season, you just play them in the fall.
Yep, I agree.
That's kind of how it is. But This could be a really, really big week for McLain because a former McLain graduate.
Yes.
From what I hear, last week I got a call from NFL Films that wanted some clips of Josh Jacobs.
Right.
And then the next day I got something from USA Today that said they want some pictures and stuff. So we put them in the right direction to get that.
Right.
How good would that be for your young kids to be able to look up to a person like that?
Oh, I mean, that's big time. One, Josh is a great kid. I didn't have a chance to actually coach him. I actually coached against him when I was at Central. Yeah. But it's just great. It gives our kids a vision. It gives them something to look forward to. A lot of our kids, they know him. Our juniors, I think that's going to be seniors. They were 8th graders when he was still at McLain. It's a positive thing. And I like his message and what I've been watching his interviews and the things that he's been saying. It's true. And he's just a great something to give the kids a visual to see.
Well, I tell you, Willie, the other thing that I feel excited about is that you played in the league.
Yes, sir.
You understand how it is.
Yes, sir.
And you know about what you talk about when you talk about that because you've experienced that.
Yes.
And I think that's great for our young kids to be able to be around someone like you who's had those experiences and knows the commitment that you have to make to get to that level.
Right. And that's what I tell them. It's like you can't, even the one that has the most talent, he has to go work. He puts that time in. Some of you don't know, like, they talk about Kobe. Well, Kobe, he doesn't go out. A lot of guys, they think it's party. No, Kobe, he's in the gym from 12 midnight to 2 in the morning when that's things that people don't see, and even when I was a player, I knew that this body here was, you got to keep that in tune. That's the only one you got. So, and Josh is on his way there. He got up to Alabama and he learned a lot. He learned the importance of taking care of his body. That's why they had all that success there. And he's going to be a great addition.
He'll be a great one.
Yeah.
Well, Willie, thank you for being here today. We appreciate you. And come back with us in just a moment when we'll have Brett Thomas, who's the head track coach at Rogers, who will be going to the McLain meet.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school Pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our guest now is Brett Thomas, the head track coach, Will Rogers High School, and also an assistant football coach. And I tell you, you're busy year in, year out. He also takes care of the concessions at S.E. Williams Stadium, which is a full-time job.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes,
well, let's talk about track at Will Rogers.
Well, we have our programs doing really well. We have our girls programs doing awesome. We have the number 1 5A quarter girl. She's right at a little over 60. Hope we can break the 59s. I think she has a really good shot at winning it this year. Talked to her this week. We're going to put her in the 800. I think she has a really good shot at the 800. Our mile relay's coming along. Our boys are coming along. Got a lot of young ones, a lot of freshmen. But we have about 55 kids out, so we're doing. It's awesome. The numbers
55 kids is a good number.
Yes, sir.
Your girl is her numbers are the best in the state right now.
At the 400 in 5A.
5A.
6A, she'd be about number 5, but she's doing. She's really good. She's a hard worker. Basketball player. Got her late. So
what's her name?
Devin. Devin Wright.
Devin
really
Wright,
good one. And she has a chance to probably go to the next level at basketball and track. So I'm kind of working with her. I've talked to her about if she'd be interested, and of course she is. I think with her basketball ability, and Coach A does a good job with her, and if we get together, we might be able to find our home with both sports.
That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. So how about the boys team?
Boys has come along. We had a couple move from our really fast kids that qualified last year. I have 3 freshman boys that are really fast. They're just, their freshman year is their first year of track, so it's hard. They all think they're the Blazers, and they're more of a quarter, a mile relay. That's the toughest part, is getting them to understand. So I have my training program we started February the 11th, and it's a quarter. Everybody trains a quarter. And it's hard, but as we progress, it lightens up a little bit. I think Monday's a hard day, and today's our last hard day, and we have 4 3 2 1s. So I give them a time, and they're getting better. It's just like I said, it's hard work, and it's not like basketball or any other sport where you can go out and just scrimmage and get better. You have to run every day.
Well, that's the thing, and to pace yourself so you peak at the right time.
That's it.
The regional and state track meets.
I've been a part of Eric Weens at Claymore does an awesome job, and he's probably the one I learned the most from. And sometimes we've done some. It's a trial and error. We've had kids we've trained really hard, and they've done awesome and peaked at the right time. We've had some that peaked early, and injuries. The injury bug gets you sometimes, and that comes with sports. Just sharing kids, and that's just the way it is now. About every sport is year round. Except for football, and they'll find a way.
Well, 7-on-7 is just
that's it. It's coming along. It is, but it is. You try to share sports, but you've got to keep up with the times, and that's the tough part is having to share. And I say that because I have one that plays softball and does other sports, but her softball's year round. So
but now at Rogers, though, don't you have a 2-sport rule?
We do have a 2-sport rule. We have, if you want to be in last hour athletics, you have to sign up for 2 sports, and it helps.
It helps the numbers.
It helps the numbers. Sometimes it's negative. You get some kids that don't want to be in there, and that's hard.
Sure.
But this is really the first year we really had the contract, so it's a trial and error. It's like anything else. It'll get better.
Well, we think it's good from our standpoint because we see far too much specialization. Kids think they have to be in the gym 12 months out of the year and shooting that basketball, or they got to be in the cage hitting those fast pitch or the fast balls or whatever, baseball or softball, and they miss out on their opportunity to be able to play other sports. And it's a shame because, as you know, in high school, that's about the last chance for most of them to ever play again.
It is. There's always a little bit of intramural stuff, but I always told football players, this is your last hurrah. If you don't go play the next level, there's not intramural contact football.
Exactly.
I say that now. There's so many. There's
semi-pro.
Semi-pro,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But it's you're right. It's tough. We have a girl right now, and Krsytel and I both get a letter every year from OU about a rowing team, and they're always wanting, hey, do you have any girls that's over 5'8" and very strong? And we have one of those girls, and she runs the quarter for me, and she runs awesome. She's a tough girl and plays basketball, and I'm trying to push her to OU to go row.
And let's make sure that we don't have any fraud involved with her getting admitted to school because she's on the
no
rowing
joke.
team.
Yeah, no joke. This is for real. She'd really be on the rowing team.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we've got about 40 seconds left, and let's talk about real quickly what this new facility, the new track, football, soccer facility is going to mean to your program.
Well, it's exciting. For one, it's going to be our home. We'll have our own home, and I'm not going to lie, it's hard someday at track practice when you don't have the lines. It's faded and it needs to be redone, and they're waiting. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, but it is, and the kids are excited. That's all they want to do is talk about is we're going to have the new track. And I have a lot of young ones. I only have a couple of seniors, and soccer's the same way. They're excited.
Well, I'll be glad for something to look forward to. Well, Brett, thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for doing a good job. And when we come back, we're going to have Krsytel Markwardt, the Director of Athletics at Rogers, and she'll follow up on what Brett has said about the new facility at Will Rogers High School.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. I have Krsytel Markwardt, the athletics director from Will Rogers High School, and a lot of exciting things going on at Will Rogers.
Yes.
Tell us about the new stadium.
Well, we're hopeful that it gets started pretty soon. We have looked at the new renderings and drawings, and we love it. We're really excited.
I think it was really neat to be able to see that. We had to go back about 3 times
Yes.
to redraw, because what happened, what people don't realize is that money comes out of the 2015 bond issue. In 2015 and 2019, the cost of labor, the cost of materials, and really the cost of iron is what hit us there with the Rogers thing. It 25% tariff on iron made that thing go up $1 million, and so I think Sparks Reed did a great job in redesigning that. But let's talk a little bit about that. I think some people can visually see, when the construction gets started, but
Right.
it has to be built up off the floor. And why is that?
Well, it's a floodplain, so and I think it's a little bit less expensive to put the building up on ground level and put the stadium down on that slope. We're excited. The new drawings look so much more like the school, and I think it's really going to fit in well. We're just ready to see it.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
As an alum, I'm really ready
Yes.
to see it. But and you'll have an office in the stadium.
Yes, we'll have an athletic director's office over there. We'll have weight room. We'll have facilities for our soccer, boys and girls, track, boys and girls, and football. So it's going to be nice.
Oh, it will be nice. And at one point, I heard the goal was maybe to have it by soccer season next year.
That's what we're hopeful for, soccer and track. So really, we'd like to host something over there next year for track season as well.
You bet.
So we hope so.
Well, I know one of the things that go along with that is the replacement of the turf and the artificial track.
Right.
Those have been down. Well, I've been here 7 years, and they were here before me.
Right.
And of course, one of the things that we do every year is we check the GMAX, on the turf, and so we'll be doing that in May again. But we want to stay up to date on turf. So, what are some of the other things going on at Will Rogers that you're excited about?
Well, I'm excited about a lot. Our sports teams have really made a turn. Our spring sports, baseball and soccer, this is the first year in baseball in a long time that we've had the numbers that we have, participants out there. We've got over 20, which is a big deal for
great.
us.
You bet.
We've competed and won some games this year and really changed that program around. Our soccer teams, our girls soccer team had a chance to make it to playoffs. They were in that last game of the season to have a chance to go to playoffs and didn't make it, but it's a huge stride from where they were before, winning 4 to 5 games in a season. So we're really excited about our sports teams. We're looking forward to football season. Really, we've got things going on at Rogers.
I think the thing that people don't realize is that it's the other part of education. And the good things that go on in the classroom certainly manifest themselves as they go out into the field and into the gymnasium and so on. Of course, you got a great gymnasium. I know we've hosted state level competition there a number of times,
Right.
and the state is really excited about that. And we'll be redoing that floor after
Yes, we
July
will.
1, and that's going to be nice, a new style, which will have the Will Rogers and script across the center and
Yes.
everything. I think that it will be exciting for those kids. I know we've done that at Central and at Hale, and it made all the difference in the world, that facility. So
Our kids are very excited about the floor. Our coaches are super excited. And I think we've got enough money together to possibly get the second floor gym floor redone as well, since
see.
wrestling is going to be, continuing to host their
Right.
games over there. So
excellent.
I think we as far as facilities, we've got what we need, and we're improving everything, and our athletes are getting excited.
I think that makes a lot of difference. Build it and they will come.
That's correct.
Is a true statement,
Yes.
and I think people in Tulsa, we owe a gratitude for their support of the bond issues.
Yes.
And the facilities, because if you look at an urban school district across the United States, I'm not sure there's one that has the kind of facilities that Tulsa has.
We actually had some teams come in, some smaller schools this year in basketball, and come into our facility, and we're just super impressed. They were in awe of what we have, and I was in awe of it when I came 5 years ago. I had no idea the facilities that TPS has, especially for their basketball and now for football stadiums and tracks. So it's impressive.
To have a turf available at all 9 high schools is incredible.
That's
I mean,
incredible.
it really is incredible. And it is great for our teams. It's great for our kids and our coaches. And of course, we host a lot of other events out there. We have the weekend soccer groups that rent the facility. So it becomes a cost-effective center as well as being able to spend money on those facilities. We are excited, I think, to add a stadium. That'll be our 6th stadium in Tulsa, and it will take some of the pressure off, take some of the Thursday night games off, that we have in varsity, and you'll actually have a home to play at, which has got to make the players feel really great.
It makes the players feel great. The coaches actually have a home, a place they can call home. They can not travel for their home games, So we've actually had away schedules for a long time.
Yep.
And our alumni are very excited.
I bet they are. Well, thank you, Krsytel, for being here today. And when we come back, we're going to have the coordinator of sports medicine, Steve Friebus, tell us about all the new equipment we got through the NFL grant.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Hi, I'm Tony Dillingham, Athletic Director for Jenks Public Schools. The first annual Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference is the must-attend event for every Oklahoma high school athletic director. Join us June 10th and 11th at the Cox Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City. The 2-day conference will feature breakout sessions covering law, staff development, fundraising, social media, and many other areas that are sure to improve your effectiveness as a key administrator in your district. The OADC will also be a great place to network with key people in our industry regarding the latest issues and trends in Oklahoma athletics. Conference registration is now open, so visit OklahomaOIAAA.com for conference registration, hotel information, and details about the conference. Don't wait. Make your reservation today.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the coordinator of sports medicine for the Tulsa Public Schools, Steve Friebus. And Steve, through the NFL grant that you obtained, 2 years ago now?
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. We were able to buy a lot of diagnostic type equipment, and we got a new piece. So tell us about that.
Yeah, what this is a wireless diagnostic ultrasound device that is able to look at soft tissue, bones, and so this will definitely help us when we evaluate athletes for the severity of their injuries. You can see, torn tendons and muscles and things like that. It's really going to be beneficial for us because so many times our kids, do you go to the emergency room? Do you not go to the emergency room? Can we save that? If we can use this to help us determine the severity of something, it helps with our treatment. What are we going to do going forward? Are we just going to let you rest a day or two, or we know this is more severe and it might be a 3 to 4 week time that you need to rest? And so we're just trying to be more effective, take care of our kids better, and save money where we can. We can take pictures, email them to their physician. They can look at the images and say, yes, maybe we need an MRI, or maybe we need to cast it, or something like that.
Well, normally this type of equipment is a huge, big piece of equipment, and now we've reduced it down to something you can hold in your hand.
Looks like an electric razor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're talking, and it's different capabilities. You've got those big carts. $30,000-$40,000 type of things, and then it's gotten smaller to it looks like a laptop, and now they've got it. And so the difference here from what you typically see is obviously is wireless, and you're using your iPad or a phone as the screen versus a built-in screen.
Well, that's really, and you can have it on the sideline.
Exactly.
During the game, during the practice, anytime, or you can take it out to look at a student athlete.
Right. I mean, we don't have one for every school. Obviously, that would be getting pretty expensive, but we have it so that, yeah, if I need to run out to this school or that school, we can move it around. And yeah, we can look at things right there Friday nights or Tuesday nights or Wednesday afternoons. So we really, we're looking forward to using this and learning more about all its capabilities to make us more effective.
Well, what a benefit to our student athletes. What's some other things that we have been able to obtain through that grant, equipment-wise?
Yeah, where this is diagnostic ultrasound, we've also purchased therapeutic ultrasound, electrical stimulation units, cold and compression devices. So not only can we put ice on somebody's injury, we can also add a compressive force trying to squeeze out inflammation, swelling. And so, it just makes, again, it's all about time and making us more effective. That therapeutic ultrasound can help break up scar tissue, can help break up swelling. It could also help promote healing by bringing blood flow to an area, new oxygen and nutrients. The electrical stim can help with pain management. Somebody gets injured and they're having a lot of pain. It can help kind of control the pain, break up trigger points, spasms, things like that. So it's been, again, making us more effective, getting those athletes back on the field. It doesn't do us any good to have a great roster on paper. We need to put them on the field or the court or the mat.
Well, and we've been fortunate, too, because through the grant, we've been able to hire part-time trainers for game day type of experiences and so on, which we wouldn't be able to normally.
Right.
What's the longevity? We had one this year is it?
We have one more year.
One more year.
One more year on it, yes.
And what do you think the renewal is going to? Do you think the NFL is going to be able to do that?
Well, whether the NFL renews it or whether us as a school district, that's what I'm hoping for the sustainability in it. And I'm actually will be in a meeting here shortly discussing that very thing. What is our long-term goal on this, and where can we do to try to sustain it as a district, and maybe even expand our services instead of just evening, part-time people there full-time, where we can really monitor the kids. It's important. One of the most important things is concussion management, and so that somebody who can stop the kid in the hallway midday and say, "Hey, how are you doing? How did that test go? Or how that computer class?" and check on them and really communicate then with the coaches as to what we're going to do with that person during practice.
Well, that was the next question I was going to get to. The concussion thing really popped up 4 or 5 years ago, where it was a major aspect in the National Football League. And I was watching a documentary over the weekend about Junior Seau and the number of concussions he had. And of course, they feel like it led to his suicide and so on. Where are we in Tulsa as far as the number of concussions and being able to detect those with our staff and our trainers?
Well, and that is another thing that we use. We with the NFL grants, we were able to we use what's called the Sway app, and it uses either an iPod, a phone or an iPad, and basically we put it to the person's chest, and with their eyes closed, we've taken baseline tests with them. So in the event that something happens, they're standing with their eyes closed, balancing, and it measures how much more deviation they have from when they're at a baseline. So we get objective data that tells us their balance, and it also tests reaction time. And those are things you cannot fake. You cannot fake being better at that, and how critical reaction time and balance are in sports, that we don't want to be taking a chance on somebody going out there and where they plant their foot just a second too late or put their hand up to catch a ball just a split second. That's the difference between success and injury.
And that's basically can be on any coach's iPhone.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah, coaches can actually have that, and I've got some coaches that somebody gets hurt at a practice that we don't have an athletic trainer at. They call me. We run the test. I can look at it real quickly on mine. I can look at the results and then give them a recommendation whether they can or cannot play.
Well, Steve, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
We got a lot of good equipment, and we're going to have Jen Sanders come up next and talk about all of our activities.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now our guest is Jen Sanders, our Assistant Athletic Director for Activities, and Jen is really, really busy. She has a lot of things that she's doing on a daily basis, and she's going to tell us about some of those things. So what is pressing today?
Well, today I just left Park Elementary, where we've got about 50 volunteers building 270 bikes for our bike PE program that we're going to pilot next year in 10 of our elementary schools. Super exciting. I walked in and thought, oh my gosh, how are these going to all get built today? But we got a great group of volunteers and Spoke House Bikes that's there building those bikes today. So that's going to be exciting. That's a new curriculum for our physical education teachers. Like I said, 10 schools, we're going to pilot it, teaching kids bike and pedestrian safety skills and drills, along with even simulating using cones and traffic signs, the city streets, so that those kiddos know that when they get on their bikes, they know how to navigate the rules of the road, or when they're walking to school or from school, so that they have a better idea about bike and pedestrian safety.
And that fits right into what the superintendent charged us 2 years ago.
That's correct.
And we'll have every kid by the time they're in the 5th grade have ridden on a bicycle.
That's right. Have learned how to ride a bike, and then of course learn those bike skills. Even there's some STEM components, some mechanical engineering components, teaching those kids how to change a flat tire, teaching them how the crank and the bike works and how to put air in their tires. Things like that are also really important for our kids to learn, and we're excited about it.
Well, then we have a subsidiary to that, in that the maintenance of the bicycles will be taken over by one of our other schools.
That's right. Tulsa Met is now going to have a bike shop. We've partnered with Bike Club and some folks, and we're going to have some curriculum built in where they can get certified to work on bikes. And right now there's a shortage of bike mechanics here in Tulsa. So we're hoping that we can get some of those kiddos to get certified. And then as they leave and go on to college or, go on into the workforce, they're able to have that skill and repair bikes. And that's something Tulsa needs. And we're going to need it because we have now quite a few bikes within our PE program. So it'll be a great opportunity for our kids to learn a new skill, and then a great opportunity for us to make sure that we're being careful with our money and we're not spending a bunch of money on repairs. We can send these bikes to our bike shop to be repaired. And we kind of got a little bit of that model in Northwest Arkansas. And if you've been in Northwest Arkansas lately, biking is absolutely one of the best things going on there. So they've got a bike shop there that their kids run, and so it's really exciting.
Well, with that, with the curriculum-based bike orientation, and then just our bike club alone, how many elementaries are we in with that now?
We're in about 16 elementaries and 5 middle schools with bike club. We'll still continue adding those bike clubs as we go, and we hope to, if this bike PE is very successful, we want to add a few more schools in the next few years, and like I said, eventually have every kiddo in TPS, number one, know how to ride a bike, and number two, have that bike and pedestrian safety training. And
the funding comes through the bond physical education.
That's correct. We've got some bond money that we've used to purchase the bikes and the curriculum. Well, I say the curriculum, actually we've helped develop the curriculum along with Bike Club. We've used very similar to what our bike club uses, and then we've added a few active games in there that kids can play so that they're getting their heart rate up during their physical education classes.
Well, the elementary track meet is just 2 weeks away.
We have 31 schools, so we're going to have probably over 1,000 kiddos at that track meet. Our PE teachers do a phenomenal job running the track meet. They are the timers, they are the people that are running the long jump pit, the high jump pit. And the kids just really, they have them trained when they get there. They know when to listen for their event to be called, and they know to get down to the field to get heated up. So I have to give all of the credit to that elementary track meet to our PE teachers. They train those kiddos, get them ready, and then it's just a fun day for all of us to get to watch the kids
How
run.
many kids from 31 schools, how many kids will we have?
Well, over 1,000. Usually about 40 kids from each school go, and they're the best of the school. You know, you may have a third grader running against a fifth grader, but it's exciting, and the kids are so excited. And like I said, the very last event that we do is a co-ed relay, and you've got the girls and the boys, and I'm telling you, those kids in the schools, in the stands, are cheering their school on as they cross the finish line.
Well, with 1,000, that should be a good crowd.
Yeah.
Now, it will be what date and where?
It's going to be May 1st at East Central High School at the East Side Stadium. We usually get started around 9:45, 10 o'clock, and we hope to finish around 1:45 and get those kiddos back home. So.
That's always a challenge with transportation to be able to get them back on
That's
in
right.
time. But
That's right.
That's one of those things. But anything else in physical education or in the sports that you supervise?
Right now, well, tennis, you know, we've got the regionals coming up for that. You know, Edison's got a really good crew. So Memorial's got a good boys team. And of course, Booker T, they just won their doubles at beating Jinx last week. So, you know, we're excited. Our tennis groups are growing. You know, I know Edison Middle School right now piloted all of their middle school sports into first hour. And Coach Hines has about 30 kids out there first hour. So that's really great. That's the way we grow our programs. We know that. Start in the middle school and then move it up. So that's exciting. And we have about, you know, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 kids that have the opportunity to get to the state meet.
Well, that's fantastic. And I think, you know, we have plans down the road from the 215 bond issue to maybe add some tennis courts or at least refurbish some tennis courts that we currently have.
That's true. We have actually a shortage of tennis courts here in Tulsa with Shadow Mountain closing. So that would be a great opportunity for the community as well, because we have many people wanting to rent our tennis courts that we already have. So
yeah.
It'd be exciting to get some more.
Well, we need to have those lifetime sports.
That's right.
Those with bike club and tennis, you're right into the lifetime sports arena.
That's right.
Well, come back with us when we'll have Mark Dover, who is the athletic director at Memorial. Mark has hosted state basketball, regional basketball, area basketball, and now it looks like he's going to be hosting the state soccer tournament at LaFortune Stadium. So we're going to talk to him about that host. Come back with us.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to tulsarefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. tulsarefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to tulsarefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. tulsarefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our guest now is Mark Dover, the athletic director at Memorial, and Mark has been very intricate in involving hosting his facilities over there with the OSSAA. So let's talk a little bit about how you prepare and everything. The first really big thing is basketball.
Yeah. We have a great game day staff. Honestly, they're very used to hosting now. Everybody from ticket takers to the scoreboard operator, honestly, I couldn't wish for anybody better than who we have at Memorial, and everybody's really willing to just put their time in, and they really represent our school really well in our district.
I think a lot of people don't understand the intricateness of hosting even a game, much less a playoff game, where it really, really means a lot, and the fans are a little bit more excited than they are during a regular season game. But all the aspects of hosting. Let's kind of just go through your game day operation, how you start out and where you end up.
Sure. So whenever we're hosting, especially a tournament game, whenever our school necessarily isn't playing. We want to make sure that everybody gets to their locker rooms, including the officials. We want to make sure security's in place, and that's a big thing. We want to make sure that the student sections are where they're supposed to be, because that's a big thing, especially for basketball. Make sure the fans are on the appropriate sides, which is essential to the game day culture that we want to try to provide. But then after that, it's just it's go with the flow. If something happens, we deal with it immediately. And honestly, it's kind of special to be able to host these OSSA events, especially when our teams are playing at home. But it's even more special whenever we get to host a state tournament game or something like that. And it kind of takes care of itself because we put the work in beforehand.
You have a standing room only sellout crowd.
Oh.
I can remember one year Mark calls me and I think I'm over at Webster at a game, and he said, Coach, we're out of tickets. We don't have any more tickets to sell. And we called David Jackson from the Activities Association and told him, said, David, he said, well, just sell your own tickets and keep the numbers.
That was a great atmosphere. That was when Trey Young was playing in the area tournament, and we were able to host Norman North, and I think it was against Owasso. It was just a great atmosphere, really great atmosphere.
You know, and what people don't realize is that getting into that game day mode, we have campus police has to be notified, and we have to have X number located on the property, in the facility, on the campus, on the parking areas, and then of course our facilities utilization folks, through Sue Ann Bell and Jay Oates and everything to get the facility ready for that game day experience. Because as we tell all of our hosts, when people come to our campus, that might be the only time they ever come to our campus. So we have one shot at a first impression, and I think it's really important that we give the best impression that we can. But they'll come in and they'll do a little extra painting and clean up and so on. But and it looks like we have had some preliminary discussion, don't know for sure yet, but some preliminary discussions with the OSSA about having the state tournament festival. I say that because there's so many contests. How many contests would there be if we hosted that?
If we host for soccer, there'll be 6 contests, boys and girls for 4A, 5A, 6A. We're really excited at the possibility. Obviously, I'm a soccer guy, so that it's kind of an extra passion of mine to be able to host. And obviously, we want to bring credit and some extra attention to Tulsa Public Schools, especially Memorial, in terms of hosting those soccer games.
Well, LaFortune is a great venue, adequate seating, no question, for the state tournament. The turf now is about 3 years old, so it's in good shape. And of course, we have good goals and nets and so on. Dressing facilities, we have plenty of dressing facilities. So I think it's a no-brainer if, depending on, and one of the factors that deals into that is the geography of where the teams are. If there's 2 West teams playing for the 4A, they'll probably play it over in the West. They won't come to Tulsa. But they try to have those set up where it's cost effective for the schools and they don't have to spend a great deal amount of money. But as we look forward to next year, the facilities are obviously some of the best around, I think, in the area, and continue to improve. How's that enhanced your program, do you think?
I would put our facilities up against anybody. Tulsa Public Schools has done a great job making sure that everybody's got this really similar facility. But across the state, I think ours goes against anybody else's. Honestly, everybody comes to LaFortune. Even if they're just walking by, we'll have spectators there. So I think it's a great venue to have. Anytime that anybody is able to come, LaFortune's always mentioned.
Absolutely,
for sure.
And of course that's one of the other problems we have, is that we always have some people that we did invite on the field. Thank you, Mark. I'm glad you're here, and good luck if we have to host. And come back with us now, because we'll have Mick Wilson, Assistant Athletic Director, and he'll talk about transfer eligibility.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Hi, I'm Tony Dillingham, Athletic Director for Jenks Public Schools. The first annual Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference is the must-attend event for every Oklahoma high school athletic director. Join us June 10th and 11th at the Cox Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City. The two-day conference will feature breakout sessions covering law, staff development, fundraising, social media, and many other areas that are sure to improve your effectiveness as a key administrator in your district. The OADC will also be a great place to network with key people in our industry regarding the latest issues and trends in Oklahoma athletics. Conference registration is now open, so visit OiAAA.com for conference registration, hotel information, and details about the conference. Don't wait. Make your reservation today.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have joining us Mick Wilson, Assistant Athletic Director for Compliance. And Mick, you know, this time of the year, people start looking around about where I might want to go to school next year. And of course, there's 2 or 3 different rules that come into play. We have the freshman rule, and then we have the transfer rule, people who have already played that freshman season. So kind of go through, you know, how we deal with transfers.
Well, it's just about this time of year you really try to educate the 8th graders on school selection, you know, school choice and where you're going to attend, eligibility and residence eligibility, academic eligibility, those kind of things. And you really want them to make a wise choice, because once you've made that move and you start school and you participate at that new institution, then you're going to be tied into there at least for a year, unless again you make a move and you change residences and those kind of things. But it's really a time of year where you try to educate the parents and the students. You really want them to make a wise choice, and because sometimes when you make a choice, people will get misinformation, you know, like the old thing that we're always eligible back at our home school, which is actually not the case. But you know, you just really want them to make a good decision, not have to pay the price for a bad decision, which sometimes that happens. But you want to be there to help and be a resource for them. And those 8th graders are really now are under the old rule we had in Tulsa Public Schools was now a statewide rule that an 8th grader basically can pick anywhere they want to go to school, and then establish eligibility by first participation.
And of course, what they have to realize at that point is when they go to that school, they establish their eligibility at that school, and after 1 year, if they want to go back to what would have been their home school, then they have to sit out again.
Yes, and we run across that quite a bit. People get there, and then of course once you tell them that they're going to be out for a year, then they decide, well, maybe it's not so bad after all.
I don't want to go back. Yeah,
so,
right.
But I tell you, one of the greatest things we've done to help address that, Gil, was when we put together our eligibility athletic committee to be able to review those hardship cases that you know, there were so many times when I was the bad guy, I'd tell them no, and then they appeal to you. And
I told them no.
We've already, you know, a lot of times we already know what our answer is in those cases. But at least with the committee, it gives them a good wide range of not only principals and athletic directors and some instructors and people throughout the community that can help make that decision. It's really taken some of that pressure off of us. We can make the ruling just as if we, you know, are an extension of the OSSA office, and then if they don't like that, they can move that forward to the committee.
I think that's one of the things that people need to realize is that we on our committee, we have 2 principals, 2 ILDs, 2 athletic directors, and people from family services as well. And it gives us a good round approach to what the hardship for that student is, and is it in fact a hardship or is it not? And we try to follow, as you know, what the OSSA guidelines are. Transportation is not an issue.
No.
You know, just because you sign off somebody to be the guardian of that has to be a court-ordered sign off by the court. And there's just so many other things. Let's talk a little bit about, because this comes up quite a bit. What about online students? Where are they eligible?
Well, we run into that quite often, and really the new OSSA rule really just it deals with it pretty direct, is that you have to be in the online school of that district, which in our case it's TLA. And so if a student's enrolled in TLA, they're going to be fully eligible at their home school which, you know, if you live in Gilcrease Hills, you would be at Central, and some different places. You live in South Tulsa, then it would be either Edison or Memorial. But those kids can go to TLA, and then the last hour of the day they can take the athletic period at their home school and be fully eligible. We do have to monitor their academic eligibility just as we do any normal traditional student. Those kids are held to the same academic standards, are held to the same athletic standards, the same transfer standards, everything other than they're just attending an online school every day at TLA, which in our district is at Promenade Mall. So those kids are able to matriculate through the system and do that online.
The other thing that comes up a lot, and we get this an awful lot, I think, anymore, is the homeschool student who lives in a district, a zone, say the Memorial Zone, and wants to go to Memorial and play. And what's our ruling on that?
Well, I had that question just last Friday, in fact, that we had some kids that were wanting to run track that lived in a particular school's district, but were homeschool students. And again, the OSSA has been clear about that. You can play with a homeschool organization such as NOAA or Green Country Defenders or some things like that, but they're not really a legally enrolled student in our district. And so those people, as much as you'd like to probably use them, because there are some good athletes out there that are homeschooled, just not allowable by OSSA standards.
I think the two that we deal with the most are the two non-traditional students. They're either in an online program that is not sanctioned by the school district, or they're a homeschool student. And they get a little bit of misinformation from those organizations that sanction whatever curriculum they're using. Oh yeah, you can play at that school, and we answer that question almost once a week, it seems like.
Well, we do, and we try to educate folks when they call, and I always let them know that we're accessible at any time for any of those type of questions. Don't go on speculation or hearsay, just call us and we'll try to do the best we can for you.
We certainly will answer the question.
Yeah, always,
There's
every
no
time.
question about that. But when we come back, we'll be dealing with something that's very important to us. That's our annual golf classic, which Mick is the director of, and being co-sponsored this year with the Legends Foundation. So listen to these messages, and then we'll be right back to talk about the golf classic for 2019.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we continue with Mick Wilson, Assistant Director of Athletics for Compliance and Golf Tournament and Tournament of Champions.
Just keep
and
naming
soccer.
them. Sure.
But let's talk about the golf tournament. This is always something that's a fun day. I think we have a lot of our former coaches come back, some of our players come back, and then some of our very best supporters come out to La Fortune and enjoy the day.
We do. It's a great day of fellowship, great day of of fun and storytelling and golf playing and lying and whatever you want to call it, Gil. We even have people probably using foot wedges out there.
I would imagine there would be.
We try to make it a great day. It's just it's more of a public relations thing for us. We're able to raise a little money, but I don't think at the end of the day that's really what we're after. We really want to bring people home. We want to bring people back. We want to get them to feel like they're still part of what we have going on in Tulsa Public Schools and our athletic department. And to be honest with you, Gil, I think we've been really successful with doing that. We get so many good comments from not only the people on the Legends Foundation have really talked to us about how much they enjoy it, but guys like, the guys that coached years ago and been part of Tulsa Public, John Phillips, JV Haney, those guys all like to come back. And although JV doesn't play, he likes to get in the cart and ride around.
You bet.
And we've got many people like that. And it's just a great, Steve Cooper comes back, different guys, and they have a good, really, really good time. So we want to really welcome those folks back and have a great day of golf. And at the end of the day, we get to have a meal and spend some time visiting. But it's really a lot of fun, Gil. And I couldn't tell you that I'm excited about this year being our 21st annual.
Yeah, 21st. We only missed one. The very first year we were here, we were under such duress at that point that we really couldn't put on a good show, and so we postponed it for a year. But I think we've come on now where we have about 140 players, and it's a good day for TPS. A lot of good prizes that are donated by our sponsors, and of course our good friends at LaFortune do such a great job for us.
Really do. I can't say enough about the assistance that Pat McLain has always given us with the tournament, and even we had a couple East Central graduates who used to help us. One, Jeremy Deere, who's no longer with us, but Jeremy was an East Central graduate, and so he always wanted to make sure that it was a little extra special for us because he was a student of Tulsa Public himself. And of course now we've got Jason Mink that's going to take us to a new level with a lot of online registration and some things like that, which we're really fond of. Anything we can use with technology will make our tournament even that much better, and of course Lisa will love it because it's going to make her job a little easier. So we're excited about that. I think Jason's supposed to get with me, and we're going to start emailing, blasting the links out so that everyone can start the registration process and get the online payments and things like that. So it'll make it a lot easier for them to be able to come and support us.
Absolutely. Well, June 7th, and registration will start at 11 o'clock, and we'll have a little meal at noon, and 1 o'clock shotgun start. It's and the prices to play are?
We're still at $100. We try to keep it real friendly for everyone to be able to afford it and to come out and play. And it's $375 for a team. And then if you want to do whole sponsors, it's real simple, just $100. So we try to keep it easy and simple, affordable. And like I said, we want to give them a good value. Usually we give some nice golf polos out to everyone that participates. We've done dozens of golf balls. This year we've got some real nice golf hats that we've gotten through BSN and Nike. So you'll get a nice Nike golf hat at the end of the day or to start. So we try to, again, always give them a good value of something that everyone leaves with not only a prize, but a nice gift and something they can go away and feel good about.
Well, it's a good day, and I certainly hope that when we get the information out later this week, you'll be able to call LaFortune, you'll be able to call our office, we can put you in touch with the registration, and if you want to sponsor a hole, and of course then our Legends folks will be out helping us with selling hole sponsorships and those kind of things as well. And the money that we do to make after we pay our bill at LaFortune, it goes to our kids. That's exactly what we try to do with that, and the Tournament of Champions, the All-City Preview, those kinds of activities, the Hall of Fame banquet, all those fundraising activities, are just for our kids. That's what
they are, Gil. It's, you look back now and you think about how much money we've raised and how it benefits so many of our programs, such as our junior high football has really been a benefactor of a lot of those things. So we're excited about that. But just to be another great day of golf, and once again, that first Friday in June, we'll be out there. Hopefully everyone will be hitting them long and straight.
Well, June 7th, and I can't wait because I'll be able to play this year for the first time with a new knee and a new hip. Thank you. We'll be right back with the close of Inside Tulsa Athletics after these.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Thank you for watching Inside Tulsa Athletics this week. We hope we gave you some information that will be very helpful for you. And tune in next week. We will be back for our next to last show of the season.